Welcome back to another exciting week of the Birmingham Racecourse and Casino. Starting lineup, I'm Tony Curry along with Kip Keefer and the legend. Bone Fragments coming up. We're going to be going to Regions Tradition. I have a great story I want to share with you about Iowalana. You'll know what I mean in just a few minutes. What you got on there, Kipper?
I've got my prop today. It's Derby Day, everybody.
Yeah,
the Run for the Roses, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. This is my 2025 Derby Mint Julep glass. They issue these every year. They've got all the winners since 1875 on the glasses. Wow. There'll be sovereignty on the 2026 glass, of course, from last year. And I've got somebody picking me up my glass again. So I've got my official prop. I'm celebrating as I do every year Derby Day, and I'm hoping to be back there next May.
Legend, what we got in the cave?
Well, I'm going to talk about Alabama in the standard. Has it been lowered, or is it still what it was years ago?
All right, we look forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, Case Keeper, his red hot picks, we always have him on. It's going to be a fantastic show right here on the starting lineup, brought to you by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino. We had some Major League Baseball changes for the Philadelphia Phillies, and then we want to talk about some NFL draft. We'll start
and
with
the
baseball.
Red Sox in 30 days, 2 manager casualties already. Legend, what kind of year are we living in here?
Well, what's good in this part of the country, the Atlanta Braves is one of the best teams in baseball.
22-9.
Man, what a start for the Bravos. Give it up for Atlanta. We see them down in spring training, Kip. We both said this is a good team. They have proven that, Tony.
They have, and this is the team we thought we saw last year, or we thought we were going to see last year, and we obviously didn't.
And they've got a lot of pitchers hurt, and they're still getting it done.
And I see the Phillies fire their coach. I think they were
Rob
11.
Thompson.
They were 11-19 when he got
took
fired.
him to the World Series 2 years ago.
I
How
know
soon
that.
they forget?
And sometimes you fire a guy just because the guy you're going to hire is available. They bring in Don Mattingly, and so I did a little research and found out it's going to blow you away. Don Mattingly has only been to one postseason as a player. Can you believe that? One postseason.
That was that lousy year for the Yankees.
Yankees, only one postseason. He's only been to 4 postseasons as a manager, 12 years, and has a losing record as a manager. Of course, he was manager of the year with the Florida Marlins back in 2020, took the Dodgers back 3 years. So, be careful what you wish for having Don Mattingly as a coach. I mean, he's got a name. He hit .417 in the World Series. Fantastic. He's still a losing record as a manager. NFL draft. What you got there, Kip? I know you got some lasting memories of this.
I just a couple of things I haven't heard anybody else point out that I am duty bound to do. And again, I don't like getting the reputation as a grouchy old man, but I have to say this. All of this, everybody needs to be included, and everybody's on the same plane, and we got to have James Madison and Tulane in the playoffs. All the NFL draft picks. There are 6 group of 6 conferences. Mm-hmm. That's about 50 or 60 teams. 13 players total in the NFL draft from those group 6 teams, all those teams. The disparity of talent is completely a gulf apart. And the FCS, the cupcakes that I always complain about, 4 players drafted off those teams in the entire NFL draft. It's time to get serious and break away. Let's have the Supreme College Football League and stop all of this nonsense because everybody's not on the same page.
Legend, where's your draft thoughts?
Well, what stuck out to me, Tony, only 5 SEC players drafted in the top 20, and the first one didn't come to number 6. Well, that old lady said, where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
My question is, where's the talent? It's not hard to see why the SEC has not won a championship in 3 years.
I would say, where's the quarterbacks? The last 10 years, we've had an average of 4.2 quarterbacks taken the first round. This year, we only had 2. We had a guy from Indiana going number 1 as a quarterback. Mendoza, you kidding me? I'm not saying he deserves it. And Ty Simpson only threw 29 passes in his entire career before last year, and he goes in the first round. I don't get it. A couple other things. Jeremiah Love, who I think is a great running back, but running backs are a dime a dozen this year. I mean, you got guys that are leading the league and getting traded. He's going 3rd, which I think is kind of crazy. And again, the fact that we only have 2 quarterbacks going in the first round, normally about 4.2 going, is just a crazy thing. But we'll see what happens. We'll see
it's economic suicide to draft a running back that high because you have to pay them as much money as the most established.
Yes.
He's going to be making the same amount of money as Saquon Barkley's makes.
Great point. Great point. He'll be making some big time money. And great player. A lot of people thought he should have won the Heisman Trophy last year, but we'll see what happens.
Wasn't consistent enough.
No doubt. This is the starting lineup, brought to you by the Birmingham Racecourse and Casino.
Feel the winning vibes at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where every step you take leads to excitement.
Bring on the good times. You don't want to miss this.
Top-notch games and a vibrant atmosphere. The Birmingham Racecourse Casino is the place to be. Another incredible win.
Where the winning never stops.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino. You can be a winner too.
Welcome back. It's time for Bone Fragments, brought to you by the fine folks at the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, and Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Over 300,000 comics. Any toy you're looking for, Legos, you name us down there in Homewood. Seth and the crew does a fantastic job at Sasquatch Toys and Comics. The Regis Traditions in town. I've always loved the Regis Traditions. When I was doing sports radio on Jocks 94.5, man, we went every single year, and I was asked to play for 10 years in the Pro-Am, and I always said no. I always had an excuse because I did not know how I was going to perform in front of thousands of people. I never had that happen before. I'm not that good of a golfer. I can hit a shot once or twice. I can break 80 once in a while. But it scared the bejeebers out of me. But when I did finally play, it was fantastic. The Pro-Am, so much fun. Alex Golish, Alex Mortensen, Coach DeBoer, Dale Murphy, Nick Saban's this year, Charles Barkley, my good friend Taylor Hicks, who you've seen right here on the starting lineup. And then Lance Armstrong, a first-timer of all guys, and I had several people say, what do you think about Lance Armstrong? I said, what do you mean, what do I think about Lance Armstrong? He's a celebrity. He's the man. He's won seven of those races, right? Of course, all those were taken away, and a lot of people still have a hard time with Lance Armstrong. They just don't like the guy. From what I know, several TV stations, including ABC 3340, actually tried to get an interview with Lance, and he said no, so maybe his image precedes him a little bit. But welcome to Birmingham, Lance. We hope you do well. There's a lot of other people out there that we used to hate, and now we love. It's been 14 years since he was stripped of all this stuff. Couple interesting stories. Curtis Strange, one of the nicest guys I ever played golf with, fantastic. Tells some really raunchy jokes on golf courses. Man, he can tell the worst of jokes. Off color, you better believe it. But he was playing here. I took my son the following day on Saturday, Santo. He was 4 years old, and Curtis went out of his way on live television. It was on ESPN to make his way directly to me, across the 18th green, to shake my hand, give my son a hug and a kiss, and I just thought he was a wonderful man. Jim Thorpe, who was the first black man in golf. That's right, with the big stick and the hat, the black hat. That's where this baby came from right here, thanks to Jim Thorpe, who, by the way, ended up going to prison for tax evasion. We'll talk about that later. But he walked around, man, and he had a group of about 12 or 13 girls. I'm talking somewhere between, they had to be legal, right? Between 18 and 20. They weren't over 20 years old. That would follow him around hole by hole. It was amazing. He had the best groupie list I've ever seen. And finally, I would sit up in the clubhouse area while all the players are playing right off the 18th. And sometimes we'd be drinking and having a good time. It's a big party. Some people don't even know there's a golf tournament going out there at Greystone in the Regis tradition. But this woman came up and she sat down. She asked me if she could have a sit. I said, sure. I said, and I would like to interview caddies, and I was interviewing, I didn't interview golfers. I didn't care about all the golfers. I wanted to interview the real people, right? So she came on. Her name was Iwalani. She was a hula dancer. She was born in Honolulu, and she was a model. And she was in her 50s. And I'm telling you, this woman now just knocked my boots around. She was unbelievable. We sat there and talked about 2 or 3 hours. She was rubbing her leg on mine. I was rubbing my leg on her leg. And she kept asking me, do you want to interview my husband? I said, no, this is great. This is fine. We had her laughing on the air. And she goes, are you sure you don't want to interview my husband? Because he's going to be coming up the 18th in just a few minutes. I said, oh, he plays, right? She goes, yeah. So I said, no, we're good. We're about ready to wrap it up. Awalana, her last name was Rodriguez. That was Chi-Chi's wife I was hitting on, for God's sakes. And here comes Chi-Chi off the 18th hole. He comes up, he gives her a hug and a kiss, and she said, Chi-Chi, this nice man right here has been hitting on me for the last 2 or 3 hours. And I said, oh, yo, you know what he said? He said, well, at least someone's hitting on you. That's what he said. I'll never forget that moment. It's fantastic. And God rest her soul, she passed away about 4 or 5 years ago at the age of 84. And they were married for 56 years. Chi-Chi Rodriguez and his wonderful bride, Iwalana. I miss the Regis tradition. I hope everyone goes out there and coming from out of town has a wonderful weekend out there. Great weekend for golf right here on the starting lineup. Brought to you by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Hey everybody, Kip Keefer with Kip Keefer Sports reporting for the starting lineup at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino. It's Derby Day. Let's get ready for action. The Run for the Roses, the greatest 2 minutes in sports coming up later this afternoon. And it's time to identify my pick to win the Kentucky Derby. And I'm going with Brad Cox. And you might say, Brad Cox? I don't see him in the list of horses. Well, he's not a horse. He's only got 2 legs. He's the trainer of 2 horses in the race. Number 6, Commandment. Number 18 is Further Ado, both under Brad Cox's control. And I think both of these horses, depending on how the race unfolds, I think at the end of the day, one of those horses will be wearing the roses, but it will be Brad Cox holding the trophy, because that's my dual picks to win this race. Further Ado, a little bit better at running near the pace, showed a big kick in the bluegrass in Keeneland a couple of weeks ago. That's a better style to get the job done than Commandment, who likes to come from off the pace. But I like both of them equally. I think Brad Cox wins this Derby. I told you last Saturday right here on the starting lineup that of the big 3, Renegade was my choice at that time, but I prefaced it with this warning. If any of these big 3, the 2 I just mentioned and Renegade, draw the dreaded number 1 post, that's going to change my perception. And guess what? Renegade, for Todd Pletcher and Mike Rapoli, the gazillionaire owner of the horse that has been involved in the industry for a long time, they continue to have bad luck. Renegade, a 1 in 20 chance of getting the dreaded 1's post, but that's just what he got. And a lot of people are saying, well, Renegade's a come from behind horse. That's not going to hurt him. But you have to remember, on that inside position with 19 horses to your outside, everybody trying to scrunch over and save ground, Renegade almost certainly is going to have some trauma in that run to the turn. And yes, he's a closer, and yes, he comes from behind, but if he gets way back and gets out of his rhythm like any other athlete, it makes the task that much more difficult. So we're kind of leaving Renegade out. He is going to come flying at the end, but I think the early trouble of the post position is probably going to cost him a legitimate chance of winning the race. So with that being said, number 6, Commandment, number 18, Further Ado, but Brad Cox, at the end of the day, is our prediction to be holding the trophy in the winner's circle. Stay right where you are. Coming up next, the legend in the Legend Cave. He's going to give you what's on his mind on this Derby Day, and we'll be back right at the end of the program to give you our exact wagering strategy. So stay right where you are. Take it away, Legend.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where a spin could turn dreams into reality. Meet Sammy F., who just won over $70,000. And Orlando P., hitting the jackpot with a whopping $100,000. Feel the thrill of winning and join the Dance of Champions.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Your chance to be the next big winner is here at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Hey, welcome to the Legend Cave, where few men have ever sat or stood. I'm talking about Ronnie Van Zant, Paul Feinbaum, hey, Mick Jagger, and of course the legend, baby. Hey, this week I want to talk to you about the Standard. You know, all year long I have heard how the Alabama Standard ain't the Standard no more. You know, you listen to the national media, and what they tell you is Alabama in this new age of money just can't be Alabama anymore. And that Alabama fans are delusional if we think we still can win a championship. They say that we ought to accept 9-3, 10-2, making the playoffs, and we ought to be happy. This is what the national media is selling us now in this NIL era. But I say to you, there's still old school people like the legend and old school people like you that I'm looking at right now that remembers Bear Bryant. Hell, you remember Nick Saban. You remember Nick, don't you? You remember Barry Krause. You remember Derek Thomas. You remember Ken Stabler running through the rain and taking Auburn with him. You remember. You remember the Standard. A lot of people today, even Alabama fans, way and say, legend, you're living in the past. Things have changed, brother. Things have changed. They've gotten worse, legend. They ain't like it used to be, legend. Oh, that's good. You have to accept the fact. Saban's gone. The standard's gone. Alabama, if you just make the playoffs, that's good enough. This is what I say to those people. If that's true, that's who the hell we are. Right there. That's who the hell we are, ladies and gentlemen. We ain't no longer here. We're right here. I hear you, Bear. I hear ya. Bear said, get it out of here. Bear still believes. I'm fit, Bear. Bear still believes in the standard. It don't matter if you win championships every year, but it matters that the standard remains the same. If the standard changed, you could become Auburn. And if you become Auburn, hell, it can even get worse. It can get worse, ladies and gentlemen. I said it could get worse. I said it could get worse. If you, I hear you, Bear. If you let the standard go, this is what happens. This is what happens. Regardless if you win the championship, the standard never changes. This is the greatest helmet in the upper world. Respect that. This never changes. Never. I hear you, Bear. Bear says, remember, it's just a game unless you're an Alabama fan. Don't be like the legend. Plum Sports Insane.
Welcome back to another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I'm Kip Keefer, longtime sports bettor, sports betting writer, and sports editor for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. Big week in the betting world everywhere, the gambling world, with the Kentucky Derby. I'll give you some of my picks at the end. I can't say for once that I lose every year because, of course, we nailed the winner last year right on this show. Sovereignty, I know Kip had him too. Not going to say I'm an expert, but I do like to dabble a little bit in the Kentucky Derby. I especially like it here in Vegas where we have fixed odds, we have matchups. Matchups not really out yet at the time of recording, but I'll give you who I went after to win, and we'll see if we can come to a consensus on the show and find a winner for the second year in a row there. But first, let's talk about some futures. It's kind of tough. I hope you're enjoying the NBA. I hope you're winning on the NBA and NHL playoffs. Just with the recording schedule, it's kind of tough to really dive into that. So it was kind of a mixed bag as far as a preview. Gave out some bets on those to start. Ottawa swept. That wasn't a very good one. However, I said Detroit was really vulnerable. I know I was more hoping for the Charlotte matchup, but I mentioned Orlando could give them trouble too. Hopefully you were on that. Some of the other ones still up in the air. So not great, not bad, but I really wanted to talk about baseball today. We haven't talked about it since opening day when I gave out some futures, and I kind of teased a little bit of a lean I was going on that day as far as building my futures portfolio that I was looking to go against the Dodgers. I wasn't fully committed to it last time we talked, but now I am. I'm really just going to be betting against the Dodgers for a lot of long-term. Why? This team is the most expensive team in baseball history. They just buy every player. I know all of that is true. However, you look at how it started, they haven't really been killers lately. I mean, they were lucky to get one game against the Marlins right now at the time of recording. Lost a couple to the Rockies. They're kind of falling into the same patterns as last year, where clearly the regular season is just kind of an inconvenience to them. You see them doing things like Shohei Ohtani's not batting when he's pitching now, keeping guys on the IL a little bit longer, just making sure they're ready for the playoffs. And yes, that does increase their value with the playoffs. However, that also means their odds are probably going to go up. People forget last year going into the playoffs, they were 6-1 you could have gotten. And it's not like they just trucked over the competition. It took a miracle to beat the Blue Jays. A lot of those Phillies games were close. So I've really talked myself in. Baseball is just such a random sport, especially in the postseason, that I think you want to grab some of those big prices on teams that look like the contenders. The Dodgers haven't even been the best team in the National League right now. That goes to our closest to Birmingham. I'm a big fan, the Atlanta Braves. I did bet some Braves in the futures market, but it was a couple weeks ago, and I hate all the prices are gone now. I bet 20-1 to win the World Series, 10-1 to win the NL. I think 12-1 probably about fair, so if you can get better than that, still go for it. But the one I bet this week, and even if you don't want to take on the Dodgers, you want to completely put them to the side, I think you can take some shots in the American League we started the season with a position on the Mariners. I still like that, although they've gotten off to kind of a bad start. Seems like they can't hit again, however, things are trending up. But the other team I love in the American League, and I hate that I have to love them again, second time in 3 years, but I really think the Yankees are clearly the best team in the American League. They're mashing the ball right now. Their pitching staff looks so solid. Even the bullpen probably been a little bit better than projected. So I bet some Yankees this week, 4-1 to win the AL, 8-1 to win the World Series. If you just want to bet the AL and forget about the Dodgers, I really think the Yankees are the class of the AL, and I think there's a strong chance that the Mariners wind up the second best team. So I will take those two teams to battle in the long-term Major League Baseball future market. Golf's really heating up. 2 signature events coming the next 2 weeks leading up to the PGA Championship. So far on the show, all we've bet is Cameron Young, 25-1 to win the PGA Championship. But I really did start to sprinkle a whole lot more this week. Bet a whole lot of more guys in the PGA Championship. I bet Matt Fitzpatrick, hottest golfer in the world, at 30-1. His game I don't really love for this course. However, 30-1 with the guy that's playing, he's won I think 3 of the last 4 tournaments he entered, came in second in the Players' Championship. I had to take that price. It's an interesting process thing here. Sometimes when the price is right, you just got to go with it. There's no way this guy right now closes less than 20-1. Scotty Scheffler, I think you got to take on. I know he's plus 375, but he's plus 350 this week at Doral. I like him this week at Doral better when he's not, you look at this field, it's a little weak. It doesn't have all these next best guys. He's all the best guys in the world. I've been bet Scotty regardless of the prices the last couple of years on the show. If you've watched, I got to pump the brakes this year. I think we take him on this year. I like Xander Schauffele. I bet him 18-1. Already said Fitzpatrick 30-1. I'm going to go back to the well with Ludwig Aubert, 25-1. I also bet Russell Henley, another guy, not a great course fit, but playing amazing, top 5 player in the world right now, 65-1. So there's some baseball and some golf, but I got to get my Kentucky Derby plays out. I really am a slave to the fixed odds. I like to just pick off the price I like the best. The horse I like best in this race is Chief Wallaby. Ultimately, he finishes 3rd in the Florida Derby, which looks like the best prep race this year going into the Kentucky Derby. I know, but he was 2-1. He was the second favorite going into that race. Shorter odds than the 2 horses that beat him, Commandment and the Puma. Commandment I'm still a little scared of, but I took some Chief Wallaby at 8-1 in the fixed odds. I found a 14-1 later. I haven't quite pulled the trigger on that because I already made a big bet on 8-1, but Chief Wallaby if I have to pick one. And because of those fixed odds, I don't know, maybe I am just getting a little too seduced by the speed figures, but I found an 8-1 as well on Further Ado, who I'm hearing no one buzzing about. I really think he should probably go off as the morning line favorite, or could here with the favorites post-draw. So I'm going to go with Further Ado and with Chief Wallaby. Those are my 2 picks to win the Kentucky Derby. Let's see what the rest of the guys think. Thanks for joining another edition of the Vegas Heaters.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Starting lineup brought to you by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino. And down the stretch they come. And here comes Legend with his Derby pick for 2026. What you got?
Hey, Tony, let me also tell you about game time this morning from 8 to 10. We was talking about the Derby on Jocks every Saturday morning. Kip and the Legend blowing it up on game time. Listen every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. I'm going with Commandment because I love the Lord and know nothing about horse racing. I'm going with Commandment today.
All right. I looked at a lot of different horses. I've actually done a lot of homework for this segment because I want to bring my A game. And then I saw this horse that just fits me perfectly because I've been doing music my entire life. I'm loving me a long shot, 30-1 Golden Tempo, ridden by
Oh, he's
Jose.
one of my second choices. Okay.
Ridden by Jose Ortiz. He's trained by Cherie Deveux, which sounds
She is
fantastic.
going to be. She was the first woman to ever win a Triple Crown race at the Belmont a couple of years ago, and now she's trying to become the
Don't
first.
be stealing my thunder! Don't be stealing my thunder, horse boy.
No,
Just
I got her picked.
now,
I got her. I don't have her on top. I have her picked second.
I got her on top of something. LeConte Stakes, of course, this horse already won. And this horse is known not only as consistency, but man, it can come from behind. It may have to do that if it's crunched up against the rail. Of course, finished 3rd in the Risen Star in the Louisiana Derby. I like this horse. It's run 4 times. Same rider, all 4. I think it's got a shot 30-1. At least maybe play it. Place, maybe show, maybe win some cash. If it's going off 30-1, it's good stuff.
Love it.
And I love the Golden Tempo. You love the Jesus Commandment stuff. I'm going to go with the rock and roll Golden Tempo. So that's what we got.
And I just bet on Brad Cox. He's a trainer. He's not going to win the race, but he's got 2 horses in. One of his, the 6 or 18, either Commandment or Further Ado. And I'll give you the numbers here in just a second.
You have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us every single Saturday. We do this, and we cannot wait for college football season. It'll be here before you know it. And we're going to be on right before the SEC on ABC every single Saturday right here on ABC 3340. Have a great weekend.
Okay, folks, let's talk about how to bet the Kentucky Derby today. I've already told you Brad Cox is my selection to win, but he has 2 horses, so we've got to use the 6 and the 18 as our top horses in an exacta play. And I'm going to throw in 4 horses. Several of them are pretty good prices. The 9, 12, 13, and 19. Those horses are my supporting cast. The Puma, number 9, number 12, Chief Wallaby, number 13, Silent Tactic, and number 19 is Golden Tempo. Those are the horses I think have a good chance to run second. So if you see these numbers behind me, those are the numbers to play in the Derby today in the exacta. And one bonus play, I told you I expect Renegade to be coming on strong late. I'm going to be putting up the idea that he's only going to be able to run third with that late charge after early trouble. So you play first and second, the 2 horses we've been talking about, the 6 and the 18. Play the 4 I just gave you in that second spot, just like we're doing in the exacta. Once again, that's the 9, 12, 13, and 19. And then play the 1, Renegade, in third place in the trifecta. That's just an $8 bet for a $1 trifecta, and it could pay off very handsomely. Let's shift gears real quick with kind of a personal message to everybody who tunes into the starting lineup, listens to us on Jocks on our Saturday morning show Game Time, Sunday morning the morning after, and is really following us on Kip Keefer Sports. Tremendous growth in recent days where the followers, people involved in Kip Keefer Sports, has swelled from about 900 last September to over 6,000 now and growing every week. So thank you for getting on board on Kip Keefer Sports. We are going to be seen everywhere. We're getting out. We're going to events. We're going to be talking to a lot of people in Birmingham and really stepping up our game. Take this as my assurance. We are not mailing it in ever again. Every day we are committed to being your sports authority and being the voice of the fan. We intend to live up to that promise every single day from this point forward. Cannot thank all of you enough for your support and participation in our growing sports juggernaut, Kip Keefer Sports. Have a great Derby day, everybody. We'll be back next week right here on ABC 3340 with another edition of the starting lineup.
And the problem I have with Doing DeBoer is that he doesn't talk like Nick Saban. He doesn't talk like Kirby Smart. By the way, I interviewed John Summerall the other day. He doesn't talk like John Summerall. This guy is scary, okay? I mean, he talks physical football because he's a defensive coach. Kalen DeBoer is a cute offensive coach, and he is not going to scare anybody. And I realize in today's football legend, it's a little bit different, but you have to intimidate. You have to win. You have to win some of these games before they start. How did Alabama lose to Florida State? They lost that game when they let the quarterback down there run his mouth all summer, and they didn't do anything about it. And I mean, by the second or third quarter, that guy was laughing. And I just don't see it. Ryan Grubb's not like that. That's what this program needs, and I don't think they have it. Having said all that, I think DeBoer is just good enough to make this thing go on for a while.